Hello, and thank you for joining us today. My name is Marisa Buckheit, former Miss Illinois 2014, and also a current member of Wichita Grand Opera's Opera Academy of the Midwest. I'm a soprano, and it's a true honor to be here performing with WGO for its 15-year anniversary season. And today, we are very lucky to be joined in the studio with Sam and Annalisa. Hi, you guys.
Hi.
Nice to be here.
Yep, thank you very much for being here. So I've got a couple of questions for you, and I'll be starting with Annalisa.
Okay.
Speaking of this big triumphant concert 15 years ago that the Wichita Grand Opera hosted, it was something else. It must have been an incredible experience to sing beside Luciano Pavarotti.
It was an incredible night.
Mm-hmm.
I remember with emotion, first of all, because I was singing with him, and then coming here and people so warm, and everything was so beautiful. So
yes,
I remember.
And it sounds like it was pretty regular for you to be performing with Mr. Pavarotti.
Yes, I was his partner for several concerts all around the world.
And now a question for Sam. So we mentioned earlier that you're a Kansas boy.
Yep.
So can you talk a little bit about what it means to you to be here performing back home in Kansas?
Well, I mean, I've come back to Kansas on numerous occasions during my career, mostly for concerts, recitals, things like that. It wasn't until 2007 with Annalisa here, that I was brought here by the Wichita Grand Opera to make my formal opera debut in the state of Kansas, other than my performances at Wichita State University when I was a student. So it's I always enjoy coming back, and now I've come back to live here. I live here in Wichita again now, and so I've pretty much come full circle.
Sounds like it. Sounds like it. And your Kansas debut, especially being a native Kansan, is very significant. And how special that Annalisa could join you for that.
It was great. Yes.
Could you both share a little bit about what it was like to, make your debut here in 2007 and to be sharing the stage with such a widely known bass as Sam Raimi?
Yeah, for me it was incredible. I was honored to meet him first of all, and then singing with him. Oh, incredible, really.
I see a great friendship here.
It was my Scarpia, so I was scared too, because it was too big for me. I don't know, but I cannot explain.
So he was the bad guy in that show then too.
I'm always the bad guy.
Yeah.
With that voice,
with a few exceptions.
Scary and powerful. But powerful and beautiful as well.
Well, thank you.
Of course. So speaking of, we're on the subject of the bad guy. You're known for playing the villain, Sam. Mephistopheles is one of your signature roles. But also in this opera, we have the Grand Inquisition.
Spanish Inquisition. He's a man of the church, but he's a little bit of a villain in this opera.
So you don't think you're the bad guy in this show, is what you're saying?
Well, if there is a bad guy in this show, I guess it would be the Grand Inquisitor. Okay,
you're right. It is a very complex story, talking about the Spanish Inquisition. So, maybe in this case we can get away with, saying it's an obscure subject. Great. Well, so I have a question for both of you now. What would you tell those that are considering to attend Don Carlo? What specifically can they look for in this opera?
Beautiful music. I mean, it's Verdi. I think for me, this opera is Verdi at his best. Lots of gorgeous moments. All the principals have fantastic arias to sing, great pieces, and ensemble singing, also an orchestra playing. It's just a great night of Italian Verismo opera. I mean, quasi Verismo, but yes.
Early Verismo, maybe.
Yeah. And for me, it's one of my favorite opera. I mean, it's beautiful music, and And also I love very much this role, my role, Elizabeth. I think all roles are beautiful.
Yeah.
Inquisitor is one of the most beautiful for basso, I think. This duetto with
Yes,
with Filippo is incredible, beautiful. And for me, it's one of my favorites. So I'm glad to sing it here. And
we're glad you're singing it here. And you know, that brings up another interesting point. Both of you have performed your respective roles in the past, maybe multiple times. Could you speak a little bit about, you know, your experience performing the role and what's different about it for you now?
Well, I haven't that much experience with the Grand Inquisitor. I did it two different runs of it at the Metropolitan Opera, and then I got to do it just a few years ago with the Houston Grand Opera. I got to do the original French. I'd always hoped that I would get to do, because I spent 20 years of my career singing Philip all over the world, and I always hoped that I would get to sing Philip once in French, but it never happened. Because I found a French score one time when I was in Paris, first edition French vocal score of the opera, and it cost me a fortune, but I bought it. But I finally got to use it in Houston just a few years ago, singing a Grand Inquisiteur.
And for me, I sang my first Elisabetta just in States in Los Angeles, and then I sang it several times, and this is I came back for the second time singing in States.
Yes.
And
it's one of your favorites.
It's one of my favorites for the character. It's wonderful, and it's the Queen. So
the Queen, right?
And
you can't
beautiful
beat that.
dresses and everything.
Beautiful dresses. Our season of royalty. There, you really can't beat it.
Yes.
You really can't. Great. Well, let's talk about some of your co-stars, because, for example, Annalisa, I know that you've performed with Gaston before, or Don Carlo.
Yeah, yes, we did Tosca together. We sang, and like with you.
Yes, that's a popular one for you. And with Pavarotti, have you performed that with Pavarotti also?
No.
You have.
With him.
Sam has. Okay. Sam has. So that's
yes.
an
I was
important
fortunate. I got to sing Scarpia at the Metropolitan Opera when Luciano sang his farewell performances at the Met.
Great.
So.
Great. Okay, so what was it like before working with Gaston?
Yeah, and yes, we sang. It was Mario, and I was Tosca, yes, in Germany, in Leipzig. And I especially remember that period because I was pregnant. And we were, so I was 7 months, I think, and he was so caring about don't make me in a dangerous position or something, I don't know, but it was great.
So, okay, can you both maybe share what your favorite moment in the opera Don Carlo is? Do you have like a favorite aria or a favorite duet of any sort?
My favorite, when I sing? Mm-hmm. Oh, okay.
Sure, or it doesn't have to be when you sing.
No, because I love very much the duetto with Inquisitor and Philippe. The music is fantastic.
Yeah.
Of course, I love my aria, the grand aria, Tu che le vanità. Yes, the introduction is wonderful. But there is a phrase which is really my favorite, and is I fior del paradiso. In the duetto at the end with the Carlo. I fior del paradiso. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Maybe it's one of my favorite phrases in the old operas.
Yes.
Yes.
Wow.
I fior del paradiso a lui sorrideranno.
Oh.
Beautiful. Okay.
And Sam, do you have a favorite part? Is it the duet?
Well, that whole scene for me, I think the whole scene beginning with Philip's aria El la chiamai Mamo, and then the duet with Inquisitore, and then the quintet after the scene afterwards, and through Eboli's aria. I think the cabinet scene, it's one of the greatest scenes in all of the opera repertoire for me. Yeah.
Great. Well, it's been so wonderful speaking with both of you today. Folks, come out and see our Don Carlo production September 25th and 27th here in Century 2, and tickets are available for both performances. The 25th at 7 p.m. and the 27th at 3 p.m. To purchase tickets, call 316-262-8054 or purchase online at selectaseat.com. Thank you very much for tuning in.